Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Reed's Read Spider-Man Crawl Space Edition. Please check us out at spidermancrawlspace.com. Well, of course, I am here to review, of course, um, the one tie-in of Amazing Spider-Man 65 Death, which is the one shot by, of course, Derek Landy and Kevin Walker, as it takes place right after issue 65, as, of course, Phil Coulson is sent by Doctor Strange to try to help coach Peter into, of course, continuing his mission in the field of battle. So, of course, we're going to go into the main part of the issue here. And what we're going to go into is what is this issue good? Well, it's got some good and it's got some bad to it. So, I'm going to, of course, do my best here, of course. And that, of course, is dealing with the pros. So, let's see how were the pros here for issue 65 piece here. So, one part I will have to say here is the issue is if you're a Phil Coulson fan, it is really actually a very good issue to do parts on that. So I will have to say I do like the fact that Phil Coulson, of course, he was introduced during the part of course, the various Marvel films and everything else too about how about works on the pieces here. So here, of course, is he is now, of course, the Grim Reaper of the Marvel Universe from the Death Stone. Yes, there are multiple Death Stones now too. This is a really nice little area about actually explaining how he really works in this universe. I've always kind of liked the feel of who Phil Coulson, as well as how Death kind of works a little different on this. So it's a nice little area to really get in how he first experienced meeting the Grim Reaper in his own life, as well as from his grandfather to the fact that how he was saying that he would diminish over time and everything. I really do get a kick out of how this really works for the issue. So it's got a nice feel to it that I really do enjoy for the parts on that too. So I do like the fact that we do get a lot on Phil here and a few other things. And it's kind of nice to see how he is because, of course, he has the ability knowing that Spider Man is, of course, Peter Parker and having the ability to actually not only talk to people, but also deal with all the deaths from the death of his parents, his Uncle Ben, to of course the various other areas to it. But of course, in how much is Peter is very broken. I mean, the fact is he experienced not only the various death of his loved ones in the previous amazing issue, but in fact he saw tens of thousands of people, various people die and how they're going to die from small children to people that are ready to make peace with themselves and so forth. And it kind of gets to the point here. One of the biggest issues with Spider-Man, of course, as you know, Peter became Spider-Man when he failed to do his responsibility, and someone he loved did. So of course, he's always been motivated when he doesn't do his responsibility, people die. And here he's kind of gotten the point that what's the point? And that's really kind of what leads to the cons on this one because something that really had a problem with this issue is it has its points here, but if anything, this is a Phil Coulson one shot. I mean, I like the character of Phil Coulson, I always have from nonsense and so forth, but there really isn't much issue to this about how he is, how he's the Grim Reaper, and despite everything, he also sees all the various aspects, including things that actually happened to Peter over the year death of Ben right, the original death of Ben Riley, of course, the fact the actors who played Aunt May die and everything. He's and even the Sin Eater. He's kind of gotten to the point too from Gene DeWolf and others like what's he saw is the point here because no matter what he does, everybody kind of dies. And the fact that he's actually been see the Reaper years ago by himself, who said he's nobody special, but the fact that he actually says he could, then he says, oh, maybe there is some point to you at some point too, as well as the Reaper saying, people go with where they go when they pass on, depending on what lives they live, depends on where they is. He doesn't say there's a heaven or hell or purgatory. He basically says there's various levels, and depending on what kind of person they are, here, which is kind of the basic little things if you want to go into that. There's nothing really bunt to, and we understand the fact that Peter has to defeat these Scions, or of course, the world is going to, well, the Earth is going to be run over by Cytterak and everything. That's the point. But he's the man that's really done. And I do like some of the their areas too, but as Phil pretty much says too with this issue here, his biggest things is that all these deaths didn't kill Peter Parker. It killed Spider-Man because, like I said, Peter no longer has any motivation of who he is. As they say, as some people say, he's wandering through life and just kind of trying to do this thing. It's an okay issue. It's nothing special. If you really wanted to get something out of this, maybe you could do a little parts of here, but there's really not much else here because in the end, Phil doesn't convince Peter to get back in, as they say, get back on the horse and jump on everything. So I'm going to have to say it's a C. It's okay. If you're a Phil Coulson fan or really want to know how his entity is the Grim Reaper of the Death Stone in the Marvel Universe, especially 616, not a bad thing to go in here. There's nothing really, really special about this. It's okay. There's nothing really really kind of write home about or anything else. And it was okay for some pieces, but I don't really have much else myself to say about this issue. I reviewed it. It's okay. I see what the point we're trying to do it of it. I mean, Lanley, who of course pretty much made Coulson the current Grim Reaper of the Marvel Universe, and continues the story, and Kevin Walker's art's very nice, but there's nothing really, really special about this issue at all. I don't really have much else to say on it. It's okay, but in the long run, it really isn't anything special. It's okay. It's an okay issue, but I don't feel like it really makes any point to the big issues. Maybe it will with the last four parts of the storyline as we gets into this. But yeah, I don't really. I'm sorry, three parts of the story, not four. So it's okay. It's all bad. It's fine. I think we can good. So I don't have much else to say, everybody. So I'm hoping that if you do like this review or do enjoy anyone, please of course think of like or subscribing to this channel. And of course, for checking out more reviews of us, check out the SpidermanCrawlspace.com for more of your latest news, podcasts, and more, and other fellow reviewers here too. So on that note, everybody, I will see everyone